Our next speaker is an award-winning playwright, best known these days as a producer and host of Nuclear Hotseat, a weekly podcast on nuclear issues, now in its 13th year, with more than 600 episodes available at nuclearhotseat.com. She received the Nuclear Free Future Award in Education for 2022 and was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the International Uranium Film Festival in May of this year. Libbe is a TED Talk speaker and author of the book Yes, I Glow in the Dark, 1 mile from 3 Mile Island to Fukushima and Nuclear Hotseat. Please help me welcome Libbe HaLevy.
How's the volume with this? Is this working? Have you ever had a nightmare where you're running away from something that's out to get you? You don't know what it is, but it's bad, and it's gaining, it's chasing you. You can't outrun it, you can't outfight it. The safety you're running towards is too far away, and it keeps receding the harder you try and get there. You're scared, and it's closer. You're out of breath. You can't move fast enough. It's almost on you. It's breathing down your neck. And then you wake up, and you're safe. Nothing is chasing you. Or is it? I have that nightmare every day of my life. Only I'm awake, and it's real. It's called nuclear. You know, atom bombs, weapons, reactors, radiation, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Chernobyl, Fukushima, 3 Mile Island, like that. It's not in the past. It's in the present, here and now, and unfortunately, into the forever future. I can't outrun it, outfight it, outfinance its institutionalized propaganda machine, scare it off, or protect myself from its ultimate ravages. So I do the only thing I can. I produce a podcast. Nuclear Hotseat, so named because we are all in the nuclear hot seat, is now in its 13th year, over 625 episodes. Every week it's like I do a one-woman show. And I can get mad, really mad at the nuclear perpetrators, point the finger, get sarcastic, and use whatever verbal and written skills I have to call out what I see as ultimate evil. And there are people around the world in 124 countries who have listened to me. It's good that I have this outlet, because otherwise I would be dumping everything I learn about nuclear every week onto my friends and whatever poor schmuck is standing next to me in line at Trader Joe's. And let's face it, it is not polite to go all nuke nerd on friends and unsuspecting bystanders. You and they did not sign up for this. So what I've learned to do is mention that I do a podcast on nuclear issues, and then I wait. The most common reaction is a take a beat, during which the person becomes a little frozen, and as reflex they hold their breath. Their eyes widen, and there's a nano of fear that appears before they remember themselves, shift their look to one of deep earnestness, maybe put a hand on my arm and say a heartfelt, "It's so good of you to do this work." And then they turn around and they leave because they rarely want to engage further. I get it. There is so damn much in this world that threatens us, frightens us, that's so dangerously off-kilter that no one is looking for one more thing to scare our pants off. And nuclear, that's primal, ultimate, baked into our DNA. That's terror meets infinity with a side order of, ah! I truly understand. So unless invited to say more, I keep each week's actions by the nuclear Death Eaters to myself and accept the offered good wishes with grace, so no one feels the need to run screaming from me for fear of catching nuclear cooties. Which is why my recent trip to Brazil was so astonishing. I had received the Nuclear Free Future Award for Education, which came with a small stipend. And by combining that with donations and fundraising from friends and listeners, I was able to get to Rio de Janeiro to cover the International Uranium Film Festival. 10 days, 16 films, with filmmakers and audience members from around the world and diplomats representing Spain and Sweden. From the start, I felt like I had found my lost tribe. I bonded immediately with all of the people. We shared personal stories of what we were doing and why. challenges to getting our work financed, produced, finished, and out into the world. We shared a darkly riotous nuclear gallows humor, everything in extremely poor taste, that had us laughing ourselves silly. No footnotes required. We didn't have to explain anything to each other because we'd already done the research. We knew. And between the film screenings, which took place late afternoon and evening, we had such fun. Lively talks over shared meals and caipirinhas, a drink that must be experienced to be understood. During a break in the screening schedule, we spent mornings on the beach of Ipanema, wading in crystal waters and sipping coconut water straight from fruit picked just that morning. During that time, one of the filmmakers continued to shoot footage of what's going to be a documentary on this year's festival. We visited a Rio public high school for the arts and media, where one of the festival's founders teaches. Nuclear is an integral part of their understanding of the world. Their dance curriculum students presented a number they choreographed in our honor, wearing all-white outfits, using blue paint powder. As they danced, they dusted and smeared it on each other to represent the spread of radioactive cesium during Brazil's worst radiological accident. 18-year-olds expressing the nuclear truth through art. Breathtaking. And then we visited an indigenous village in the middle of Rio, where an Amazonian tribal elder learned of my work, and he proceeded to grab my arm and paint a henna-like design on it as an honoring of me, a mandala of protection, using ancient symbols representing weaving and seeds, the fabric and the future of the world. The last night of the festival, at the awards ceremony, I was surprised to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award, totally unexpected. It left me at a loss for words, something my friends will attest never happens. I came back changed. The most despairing and isolated parts of me that struggled with this information every week were heartened by a global sense of community with some of the finest people anyone could ever hope to meet. I know down to my DNA that I am not alone with what I see, think, and feel about nuclear. That there is a spider web of connection around the planet of people who know and care, speak and act through film and the arts. And that all of me is welcomed by all of them without restraint or restriction, as they are by me. There are many ways to heal the world: hosting a backyard storytelling event, saving animals, doing composting and recycling, taking on the nuclear perpetrators. Yes, they're running after me. They never stop because, after all, the whole military, industrial, nuclear complex is gaining all the time. But I keep running, producing Nuclear Hot Seat every week, trying to make the difference before it's too late. And I know in my bones that if I can get there, wherever there happens to be, that place that I see that's receding, but I know it's there, if I can get there before they do, then maybe, just maybe, this nuclear madness will be turned around. Can one person, one podcast, do all that? I have no idea. But how dare I not try? With every fiber of my heart, mind, and gifts, I must do what I can until I find out. It is truly David and Goliath. Just remember, David won.